Like when I'm performing, it's a shared experience for me. It's like, these are people that come from the same place that I come from, and we're talking about Can I Live, and I'm singing that song, and people are looking at me like, I understand, I feel you. Do you understand how much you've affected my life? Or people that listen to my albums that get them through situations, you know, and even illegal activities, if we're being honest, you know. Chains is cool to cop, but more important is lawyer fees. That statement alone changed how people went about, you know, their movements.
Right.
I've heard this many times. This is not me just saying this. I've heard people come to me like, man, that line was so powerful for me. It made me put things in perspective. I had a 600 Benz that I was driving up to the projects in my mother's house, but I didn't have any lawyer money. And, you know, it made me prioritize
and think
differently. You know, my life.
What are you doing to give back? I know you're very philanthropic. Obviously, I've talked to Gates about that. But what are some of the ways that you're giving back?
I started this Sean Carter scholarship program, you know, noticing how education was, you know, not being addressed in our neighborhood. And also as a way to show people in our neighborhood that, you know, you can be successful and come back, that person that used to live in 5C, 534 Flushing is not a person in a box now. You know, not someone you just see at concert or see on TV. You know, most people that were successful growing up from where I was from never came back. So there was never a dialogue on how'd you do it, what happened. There was no mentoring program. There was no going back and grabbing a person and teaching them, you know, a trade or, you know, what it is that you do, and then that person go back and grab two people, and then, you know, and it goes from there. So I figured I'd start with school because, you know, education, you know, it's the answer. It's the answer. I mean, forget life, right? Let's talk about a career. To go from there to this album and still be putting out material that people care about and still putting out #1 records and #1 album. You know, I think he'll be proud of that approach because that Jay was still wise, right? That was always a wise Jay. If you listen to the music on there, Politics as Usual had a, dun, 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 like it's still musical. Like it's a very musical album when you look back.
Soulful.
It's soulful and it's musical. My first album. So it's only thing that's changed is the subject matter is a little broader because my experiences is a little broader. You know, that Jay was more refined still, but still rough around the edges. I still had like 1 foot in the street still, so I didn't have no knowledge of the music business. I think anyone at the forefront of music or anything should push. I mean, if you care about it, right? If you don't care about it, just take the money, keep it, and don't say anything to anybody, and just watch everybody just, you know, do whatever. But I think as a person in the forefront, you have the responsibility to leave it better than how you got it. That's just me pretty much, you know, getting guys to think about the things they do. You know, guys having YouTube beef, and like, it's like, what is that? It's ridiculous. Like, what is that? Who does that? Like, if anything happens, you're going to jail. So when you start seeing stuff like that, you can do two things. You can say, you know, let them guys just make mistakes and just kill each other. Or you can say, yo, don't do that, man. Only two things can get you through this, man. That's patience and persistence. We all aspire, we all have the same emotions. You know, no matter who you are, where you're from, we all have the same emotions. You know, we all want to be successful. You know, we all have the same fears of failure. We all have, this feelings of abandonment. We all, you know, want love. Have such a strong belief in yourself that you can quiet out all the outside noise, because you're gonna need that on every step of the way. There are people that are projecting their fears and their shortcomings and failures on you. And you have to be very careful, you know, with that. People telling you can't do that. Why can't I? Because they may have tried, or they don't believe that they can do it. And it's not really about you, it's about what they feel and their fear inside. So you have to be strong enough and resilient to believe in whatever it is you're trying to do. My uncle, he was telling me, like, I'm never gonna
My uncle said I never sold 1 million records. I sold 1 million records like 1 million times. Are you crazy? How are you gonna do that? How? You know, I'm sure there's things that I do now that he can't believe that I was able to accomplish. But he couldn't even see it at the time. So he was just projecting, putting his fears on me.
That's how we on it.
Lock my body, can't trap my mind. Easily explain why we adapt to crime. I'd rather die enormous than live dormant. That's how we on it. And you gotta understand the reason, right? Why does that guy think like that? Right? How do you arrive at that point? You gotta also look at that. You have to look at that. You gotta look at the environments and places we live in and how things are set up and how things are structured and how we're always the last on the totem pole, even from our schooling to our roads to, you know, everything that all the obstacles that's placed in front of us, even our living conditions. You live in a project, someone lives here, 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 and here. You know, you have to deal with all these different type of personalities. You're in the box. Someone's above you, below you, to the right of you, and to the left of you. And every day you have to manage that circle. So that's like living dormant. Life is about balance, right? You have to have some type of balance. You have like time for work and it's time for play. And if you don't allow these two things to coexist, you have an imbalance. People look at you strange saying you changed, like you worked that hard to stay the same. Like you're doing all this for a reason. And what happens most of the time, people change. People change around you because they start treating you different because of your success. So you are changing. You don't change who you are, the core of who you are, the things you believe, the things you love, and the things you die for, and your principles. You don't change that, but you're gonna change who you are. You're gonna change. You have to educate your children on the world as it exists today and how it got to that space. But my child doesn't need the same tools that I needed growing up. I needed certain tools to survive my area that my child doesn't need growing up in a different environment. But also they have to know their history, have a sense of what it took to get to this place and have compassion for others.
Right.
The most important thing, I think, out of all this is to teach compassion and to identify with everyone's struggle and to know these people made these sacrifices to be where we are and to push that forward for us. I believe that's the most important thing to show them because they don't have to know things that I knew growing up, like being tough. Like,
yeah, there was a lot of instances that I would.
You got beat up coming home from school.
Beat up in bathroom, beat up in the hallways, shoved in the lockers, you know, just for, you know, for the most part, man, you know, just being the new kid. I think that, you know, there was certainly like a rebellious, like youthful rage kind of in me. And there was also, you know, the fact of the no getting away from fact that I am white, you know, and this is predominantly black music, you know, and people telling me you don't belong, like you're not gonna succeed because you're this color, then you wanna show those people that, you know, that you can and you will. Hip hop has always been about bragging and boasting and I'm better than you with this and I'm better than you with that. And I finally found something that, yeah, this kid over here, you know, he may have more chicks, like he may have better clothes or whatever, but he can't do this like me. You know what I mean? He can't write what I'm writing right now. And it started to feel like, you know, maybe Marshall's getting a little respect.
I mean, yeah, early on I went through like quite a bit of that, but I mean, I think that at the end of the day, I guess if you, as long as you, if your heart is in it and you know, you just keep persevering, you know, you're gonna break through. I mean, it wasn't easy, you know what I mean? But I kept at it, you know, I got booed off stage. It was, you know, many times, like, you know, as I did in the movie, like certain, you know.
Yeah. How long did it take, do you think, before you got good enough to think, okay, this is working now? How many times did you have bad on-stage experiences?
Maybe a couple.
So not that
I'm pretty
many.
awesome.
no, I just don't care about it. It's almost like a loser's mentality. It's like everyone's so spoiled. Like it's like, you know, he won't let me shine. I even heard someone say like, yo, why Jay won't let Kanye? I'm like, let Kanye. Kanye's Kanye. He's gonna do what he does. That's a loser's mentality. My albums came out with Outkast, Lauren, Q-Tip, all of them in 1 week. You know, everybody did good. You know, look at the chart now. It's Wale, #1. This is like a shameless plug. Rock Nation managed artist, J. Cole, which will probably go to #1 next week again. No, for the first time ever, but he'll go to #1. Rock Nation, and it's Kanye. Everyone's flourishing. You know, you gotta be out. You gotta be able to compete. Still sharp and still. You gotta get out there and you gotta earn your spot. It's not given. It's such a spoiled brat losers mentality that's it's annoying. There's a knowing in being an artist. There's a knowing. You can't guess, you can't think. There's a knowing. You have to know that even if it doesn't work today, tomorrow, there's artists that I play that weren't popular at the time that I play more than I play current artists. Shuggy Otis, I suggest you just go look up Shuggy Otis. He was amazing. And at the time, it wasn't this hugely popular thing, but I think I think when it all said and done, we would play that music more than any other music, right? So you have to have this knowing that, okay, it may not work today, it may not work tomorrow, but this is the right thing, and this is what I'm doing, and this is what's feeding me. So that would be the best advice that I can give you. That knowing, just believe in what you're doing. And if you don't believe in it, then you're not doing it. You haven't figured out the thing that you do best yet. When you feel it and when you know, no one can tell you. You only have to be right once.
I got up around 8, had some breakfast, ran a mile. It was really tough. I just came from Aspen. Yeah, you know, I just wanted to touch it a little bit. I mean, everyone can't be like you, man.
It's gone away.
So, you know, ran a mile. Then I went to the office, read a bunch of emails, read some more emails, downloaded some music legally. Had a meeting with some great people. I don't want to really say their name yet. After that, listened to some music, went to the studio, had dinner. Oh, went to the Nets game, we won. We're up 3-2. Thank you very much. Went to sleep.
Good day, full day.
Great day. Yeah, we was going to Club Exit. And we get into we get in the front of the club. We pull up, and Big sees some guys out there, and he says, "Man, I'm not going in there." And I'm like, "What?" He's like, "Nah, these guys over there. I'm not even, I don't feel like it tonight." So me and Tata, we just came in the music business. We don't really understand what he's saying. We think he's scared. So we like, "What? Let us out this car right now." So me and Tata leave the car, and we talking about Big behind his back. And we was like, "Man, could you believe that, man? He's scared of these guys." But we wanted to prove to the guys in front of the club that we wasn't scared. So we go in the club, Big pulls off, and for a while, I thought that he was really scared of these guys, until later on, I realized that he had a bigger goal, and he knew where he was going, and he didn't want to deal with it. He wasn't scared. It was just like, why put himself in that position if he didn't have to? And I thought that was genius, and I guess that helps me a lot as well. Belief in oneself and knowing who you are, I mean, that's the foundation of everything great.
A risky business of going against the grain. The reasonable man adapts himself to the world. The unreasonable one persists in trying to adapt the world to himself. Therefore, all progress depends on the unreasonable man. On the head. It's radicals, you know what I'm saying? I think it's exciting right now, though. That's why I'm kind of going slow. As much as people like trying to rush me, I'm going slow because I think that there's no need to rush. I think all the opportunities are unfolding.
I think the most important lesson for me would be just be true to yourself. It sounds like a very simple thing to do, but it's not. It's not simple to do with all the pressures to succeed and all the pressures to, once you succeed, to stay there. You have a belief in yourself, and sometimes, in most cases, it's a naivete about who you are and what you can contribute to the game.
Everything in life is for your greatest good. No matter how difficult it seems at the time, everything is for your greatest good. It's just clearing you out so you can receive your blessings, even in tough times. Even the tough time is used for us to grow, for us to go through things. So when the good times come, we really appreciate it. But you gotta just believe everything is for your greatest good. And anything you want in life, you just gotta set your intention. When you be that powerful, wow, every single person here, we're that powerful as human beings. If you set your intentions and you believe that shit with your whole soul, 100%, it's gonna happen for you, I promise
you. Luck. I heard people say I'm the luckiest man on the planet. I like to think I stay ready. A wise man once told me luck isn't some mystical energy that dances around the universe, randomly bestowing people with satisfaction and joy. You create your own luck. Gotta get in my zone now. There's gonna be no talking. I'm gonna go in, I'm gonna think, and I'm gonna vision myself tearing this down. That's how you do it. You gotta vision it first. The truth about talent is, first, that it's God-given. When you want to unleash that talent, your mind lets it go. You know, because it's there. You have to have the belief that when you draw from that well of talent, that it's going to be there. You have to have that belief that when you go into the basket, no one that's on that court can stop you. Some people were born and put here to do certain things. I believe in karma. I just believe that, you know, what you put out in the world, you get back. The energy you put in the world, you get back.
Jay-Z started with an intention to reach an audience that he knew he could speak to. That's what I think he tapped into, the intention to speak to an audience. He had a dream, he discovered his talent, he found his audience. Even being turned down from a record deal didn't stop him, it propelled him.
It's like, you know, don't listen to anyone. Everybody's scared. You know, everyone tells you how things worked out, but it worked out for you that way. So don't listen to anyone because their experience is unique to who they are. You know what I mean? And then a lot of people will try to put their fears on you. You can't do that. No, you can't do it. Right. You know what I'm saying? So they just projecting. They're putting things that they don't believe that they can do on you. These are people that come from the same place that I come from, and we're talking about Can I Live, and I'm singing that song, and people are looking at me like, I understand, I feel you. Do you understand how much you've affected my life? Or people that listen to my albums that get them through situations, you know, and even illegal activities, if we're being honest, you know. Chains is cool to cop, but more important is lawyer fees. That statement alone changed how people went about, you know, and you had the biggest hit of your record, but that's not really you. That's like, now you're really a prisoner because you have to live like that every day. And imagine being that. Imagine like putting an image out there that's not really you, and then it being really successful. Yeah. You know, then you have to live up to that every day. That's, you know, and I never wanted to be that, and I certainly don't want to be the guy who gets successful and then just pulls away and just, you know, I can't go out, I can't have a bite to eat, I can't, you know, walk to the store, I can't. Nah, that's not gonna happen.
Happy Friday, people. You know, people always ask me what I hate. I don't hate much, but there's one thing that I do hate. The one thing that I do hate is a talker, a person that talks about what they're gonna do constantly. I'm about to do this. Hey, man, you know what I'm gonna do? Hey, wait till I do. Stop talking. Just do it. Actions speak louder than words, man. Don't nobody want to hear no hypotheticals all damn day. Take your hypothetical almost could have happened but didn't do it and go sit down. Be a doer. Go shock somebody, man. Show up with results so people don't have shit to say but, oh my God. I'm a oh my God type of guy. That's what I like to do. I like to oh my God people. Are you that type of person? If not, man, then try to become one. Message over. I told my mom, this is what I want to do. My mom said, you know what? Kevin, she said, I'm not a dream killer. Her exact words, I'm not a dream killer. If you're telling me that this is what you want to do, I'm going to let you do it. She said, you got a year. You got 1 year to prove to me that this is what you want to do and that you can support yourself.
Wow.
This is a crazy story. So like 6 months going by, it's at a point where, you know, I'm not really making money, but I'm loving it. I'm making great relationships with comedians, comedy clubs. I haven't paid my rent in like a month. I'm like, Mom, you know, the rent, where's the rent at? She's like, are you reading your Bible? I said, Mom, come on. I don't have time to talk about that right now, Mom. I'm late. Like, I need the rent money. Are you reading your Bible? Mom, no. When you read your Bible, then we'll talk about rent. Another week, 2 weeks go by. Mom, they're gonna evict me if you don't give me this rent money. Mom, I'm serious. Have you read your Bible? Yes. Okay, well, then let's talk about rent. Mom, I don't want to talk about the scriptures. I need the money. A month goes by. I get eviction notice on my door. They're about to kick me out. I'm like, Mom, I go to her house. I got the eviction notice. She said, talk to me when you read your Bible. I can't talk to you right now. I just leave. I go home. I said, man, let me open this Bible up. Open the Bible up. 6 rent checks fall out. She put all my rent checks.
Oh
in the
my
Bible.
goodness.
She put all my rent checks from that 6 months throughout the rest of the year. They were all there.
Oh,
I opened it up. I felt like the biggest jerk ever. I sat there, and that was the first time I tried to read from the Bible. I read about 2 chapters. And I said, Mom, I'm sorry. I said, I just opened up the Bible. She said, I asked you to read it because you need to stay faithful along your journey. I said, okay. I said, I get it. Mom, I will.
I think that rap in particular is a young man's sport, that I'll move out of that white hot space. But rap is about the gift of discovery. To be the cool person in school, you have to know the newest music, the newest dance move, have the newest clothing on. So rap is based on that. What's new? What do you, I know you know Jay-Z is good, but do you know this song right here that only 4 people heard it?
Right.
At the end of the day, we're gonna find out it's not about the white hot space, but it's about finding the truth. That white hot space, people think is the biggest thing, but it's really small. It's almost like a trend. Will you rather be a trend or you rather be Ralph Lauren?
Right.
But I'm the person that looked at the Mona Lisa and be like, man, that's gonna be cool in 40 years.
Right.
Right? I play forever.
Right.
I play forever. And so my whole thing is to identify with the truth, not to be the youngest, hottest, new, trendy thing.
Only 2 things can get you through this, man. That's patience and persistence. We all aspire, we all have the same emotions. You know, no matter who you are, where you're from, we all have the same emotions. You know, we all want to be successful. You know, we all have the same fears of failure. We all have feelings of abandonment. We all, you know, want love. You have to have such a strong belief in yourself that you can quiet out all the outside noise, because you're gonna need that on every step of the way. You know, there are people that are projecting their fears and their shortcomings and failures on you. And you have to be very careful, you know, with that. People telling you can't do that. Why can't I? You know, because they may have tried or they don't believe that they can do it. And it's not really about you, it's about what they feel and their fear inside. So you have to be strong enough and resilient to believe in whatever it is you're trying to do. Every human being has genius level talent. There are no chosen one. God is giving every single person genius level talent. You just have to find what it is that you're great at and then tap into it. First of all, I'm always, I'm constantly curious and always trying to evolve as a human being, right? That's one thing, trying to learn myself and learn my faults and learn the things I don't like and learn.
It's one thing, trying to learn myself and learn my faults and learn the things I don't like and learn, you know, whatever insecurities that we have as human beings. People look at you strange saying you changed, like you worked that hard to stay the same, like you're doing all this for a reason. And what happens most of the time, people change. People change around you because they start treating you different because of your success. So you are changing. You don't change who you are, the core of who you are, the things you believe, the things you love, and the things you die for, and your principles. You don't change that, but you're gonna change who you are. You're gonna change, you know, you can't do the same things. You can't hang on the corner. Some people may not be comfortable with that. I'm not really concerned with noise because I'm playing for a long game. I see 10 years down the road. Every now and again, I step outside of myself and I just look at my life objectively. Sometimes I find myself saying, who is that dude right there? Like, If you'd have told me 20 years ago that my life would be like this, I'm not sure I would have believed you. I heard people say I'm the luckiest man on the planet. I like to think I stay ready. A wise man once told me luck isn't some mystical energy that dances around the universe, randomly bestowing people with satisfaction and joy. You create your own luck. My uncle, he was telling me, like, my uncle said I'd never sell 1 million records. I sold 1 million records like 1 million times. Are you crazy? How you gonna do that? How? You know, I'm sure there's things that I do now that he can't believe that I was able to accomplish. But he couldn't even see it at the time. So he was just projecting, putting his fears on me.
Right? How do you arrive at that point? You got to also look at that. You have to look at that. You got to look at the environments and places we live in and how things are set up and how things are structured and how we're always the last on the totem pole, even from our schooling to our roads to, you know, everything that all the obstacles that's placed in front of us, even our living conditions. You live in a project, someone lives here, 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 and here. You know, you have to deal with all these different type of personalities. You're in the box. Someone's above you, below you, to the right of you, and to the left of you. And every day you have to manage that circle. So, that's like living.
I feel honored to be in these situations that I could use my voice and do the things I do.
Yeah, I'm inspired by, you know, life and all sorts of things. You can say something right now and it would inspire me to write a song or something to happen. You know, most kings just happen to be inspired by Basquiat drawing. You know, the drawing, and you had most young kings get their head cut off on the bottom. And I looked at that and I was like, it's powerful. You know, just the statement in itself, you know, lends itself for a song. The song starts inspired by Basquiat. My chariot's on fire. Everybody took shots, hit my body up, I'm tired. And then it's just, they build me up to break me down, to build me up again. They're like, Hov, we need you back so we can kill your ass again. You know, it's like this thing, this love, hate thing that the world has with success, period.
I walk in every room as myself. I don't walk in any room as anyone else. I'm not cowering, I'm not speaking soft, my voice doesn't change, it sounds exactly the same way. I'm walking as myself and proud, and I speak for us, and that gives me a joy. I'm honored to be in those rooms, and so yes. It's like, you know, don't listen to anyone. Everybody's scared. You know, everyone tells you how things worked out, but it worked out for you that way. So don't listen to anyone because their experience is unique to who they are. You know what I mean? And then a lot of people will try to put their fears on you. You can't do that. No, you can't do it. Right. You know what I'm saying? So they just projecting, they're putting things that they don't believe that they can do on you. And you may possibly can do it. Like my uncle, like he was telling me, like, my uncle said I never sell 1 million records. I sold 1 million records like 1 million times. You know, so he was, I'm sure I'm his nephew. I don't think he meant any malice.
He wanted the best for you, but he just was
projecting his fears and things that, like, are you crazy? How are you gonna do that? How? You know, I'm sure there's things that I do now that he can't believe that I was able to accomplish. But he couldn't even see it at the time. So he was just projecting, putting his fears on me. So the whole thing is just, you know, and always believe you're great, even before anybody else believes it. You know, it's an extension of my family. It's like the things that I do. I tell my family all the time. I tell my grandmother, my mom, you know, they're proud. They're super proud and strong women, and they won't ask me for anything. And I say, man, you know, there are times where I don't want to get my picture taken, and I want to eat, and you know, paparazzi like take photos in your face and screaming at you and like taking pictures, and you can't take your kid to the park. And I'm like, those are the sort of things that give the reason why I'm okay with it, and why I can cope and live with these things without, you know, as much as a complaint. It's the things that it allows me to do, the spaces that it affords me, the rooms I'm allowed to go in as myself. It deals for the most part with success. It deals with people who you started your life off with and what success does to them. People look at you strange saying you changed, like you worked that hard to stay the same, like you're doing all this for a reason. And what happens most of the time, people change. People change around you because they start treating you different because of
your success. So you are changing. You don't change who you are, the core of who you are, the things you believe, the things you love, and the things you die for, and your principles. You don't change that.